Okay, simplifying logarithm. This should be a review. Logarithms were an essential skill in integrated 3. So we have the definition of a logarithm. Logarithms are used to go from exponential form back to log form. So it gets the exponent out of the air. So notice the base is b. So when you change it, your log base is b, a subscript. And then notice the b and the y are together on this side. When you change it back, the b and the y are on opposite sides. So b to the y equals x becomes log base b of x equals y. Some common facts about logs is that log base b of 1 always equals 0, and that's because if I change it back to exponent form, you get b to the 0, and anything to the 0 is 1. And log base b of b is always 1, again, because if I change it to exponent form, b to the 1 equals b, so that's why it's always the case. You use common log in integrated 3, so that was when there was no subscript written on the log. You could write a little tiny subscript of 10, but if there's nothing there, it's implied that it's base 10. And then natural log has a little imaginary subscript of e. We talked about e in the previous video, but we don't need to know what it represents. There should be an e here. Just know that the subscript would be e. Some rules about logs. This is not tabbed correctly. You cannot take the log of a negative, you cannot take the log of 0, and your base cannot be negative. So, starting off pretty simple, log 5 of 25, when we want to know what does it equal, simplify, you could put equals x to help yourself out. You should be able to do these in your head from last year, but if you don't know what's happening, this is saying 5 to what power equals 25? Well, the power has to be 2 because 5 squared is 25. So same idea for log 36 of 6. What does it equal is what we're asking. So this is saying 36 to what power equals 6. And I know hopefully you'd want to square root 36 to get your answer of 6. And we just reviewed exponents last time. The power and the the power and the root. So 36 to the 1/2 would equal 6 because a half is a square root. So x would have to equal 1/2. So when the base is bigger, when the subscript is bigger, you're going to have a fraction for your answer. Okay, number 3, log 7 of 1 over 7 equals x is what we're asking. 7 to what power equals 1 over 7. You don't have to show any of this work. Hopefully by the end you can just do it in your head. In order to get fractions, this is why we reviewed exponents last time, you need to have a negative exponent. Negative 1 would put the 7 on the bottom. Log 8 of 4. So equals x. Hopefully you're not saying 1/2 as the answer right now, because half of 8 is 4, but not 8 to the 1/2. So on these ones, when 8 and 4 have a common base, you want to change it to be 2 cubed to the x power, right? 2 times 2 times 2 is 8 equals 2 squared. Well, the rule for exponents is that you multiply. So 2 to the 3x equals 2 squared. Well, if the bases match, 3x must equal 2. Divide by 3, and x would equal 2/3 for this problem. So maybe one you can do in your head, maybe one you need to write out. Log 25 of 125, same idea. See if you can set this one up. They have matching bases. 25 to what power equals 125? 25 is 5 squared, so this is 5 to the 2x. 125 is 5 cubed, so 2x must equal 3. X would equal 3/2. Go ahead and pause it, see how many of these you can do. I'm just going to slowly start filling them out. To get a fraction, it needs to be negative, and 3 cubed is 27, so negative 3 would make it 1 over 27. I'll write it out, but again, hopefully you can just answer these. 17 to what power equals 17? X must be 1, and that was one of our facts, right? When the base and the value match, the answer is just 1. Pi to what power equals 1? The power has to be 0. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1. That was also one of our facts. Okay, when there's no base, you can write your own 10. These ones are actually really nice because The answer tells you how many zeros are in the problem. So since there's 3 zeros, x has to equal 3. Same idea. Imaginary 10. 10 to what power gives me 1 over? There are 4 zeros, but it's a fraction, so -4. Imaginary e. E to what power equals 1 over e? The exponent would have to be -1 in order to move the e to the bottom. Imaginary e. E to what power equals root e? Well, there's an imaginary 2 on your root, so x would have to be 1/2. A 1/2 power is a root. That was it. Okay. Hopefully that all felt really familiar, and I hope you guys are doing well.